was shocked when I found out this floor plan started in the 300,000s. We're gonna visit a PULTE model home today. This is a builder that you may or may not have heard a lot about. I personally hadn't done a lot with them up until more recently with some clients of mine, but I was so pleasantly surprised by this home. This was, gosh, one of the most beautiful model homes that I've seen. And to be honest with you, I thought the price tag was a couple $100,000 more. As we enter this home, this is called the AMHERST plan. You notice that super high ceiling there in the foyer when we got in. This plan just opens up. There's so much light. You come in and there's this nice separation. The kitchen faces this dining nook over here, which then is right adjacent to the living space. But it's not just one big room. I personally just don't really like that sort of floor plan where it's one big great room. I like there to be a little partition. To me, it makes the space feel bigger. I absolutely love these two-tone cabinets. Looking over at the wall here on the left, this shiplap that they did. Of course, this is the model home, so everything is top-notch. But over here has got to be one of my favorite features in this whole house. Look at this pantry. It's absolutely massive. You could put all your small appliances in there. I see a lot of homes, so let me tell you, this is not a pantry that you see often. It's usually half of that, maybe. And then you have this small little counter. It could be a coffee bar or whatnot in between. Again, just really love the color of these cabinets. But look at this. There is a second pantry. And this is even a little bit bigger than the standard size. So much great storage. Countertops are beautiful. This is a white quartz. And then this range is an extended, I think it's a 36-inch range, 5-burner range. Beautiful tile backsplash. I love too how they do the built-in oven, microwave. It's just such a sleek look. And there's nothing better than having brand new appliances. That's one of the perks of having a brand new build. Everything's brand new, under warranty. When you buy new, what you do is you register your appliances within 30 days and then you're all covered. Back this way, they added some of the dark cabinets in the laundry room, which I just love. You can see the subway tile on the floor, so they bring some of that color in. It's not a huge laundry room, and to be honest, it's not really my preference to have a laundry room right off of the garage and the kitchen, but it makes sense in terms of where the plumbing fixtures are located. Now out in the garage, this is a tankless hot water heater. This is super common in new builds here in our area. And that just saves a lot of headache and potentially money instead of the water heater being in the attic where it can, leak and overflow and the drip pan overflows and it's just a nuisance. So having it in the garage like that is a big perk. I like that they chose black fixtures. I see that there's also some gold accents in the home. So they did a nice balance between the two, but I think the black just really makes it look luxurious. Brand new fridge, of course. Not all builders include appliances, so that is something you want to check if you're shopping new construction. It's not always something that's included. Same thing with blinds, sprinkler system, gutters, all of that stuff is, extras. You want to make sure that it's either included or ahead of time if it's not, so you can budget for that. This living space, it's actually pretty long and rectangular. You have this corner fireplace with the tile. This is a gas fireplace, so you can see the gas on the side there. A nice sleek white mantle. You could just jazz this up however you want or keep it plain and simple. And then here you have your sliding glass doors. These are amazing, especially the spring and the fall months here when it's the nicest in Houston and you can just let some fresh air in. I love the look of this wrought iron staircase too, especially the horizontal railing. But okay, we're gonna circle back. I have to show you the outdoor patio. I already stepped out here and it's just beautiful. And it's a nice sunny day. By nice, I mean like 100 degrees, but I like the heat, so I have no problem walking you out here. So we're gonna head over to the side yard. Most of the yards in this community are, I would say, pretty forgiving. You know, you come to some new build communities and they're very small and cookie cutter. I do think Mavera did it right. And so I haven't talked about the community yet really, but we're in Mavera here in Southeast Conroe. So this is right off of 242 or the Grand Parkway. So I'm not gonna lie to you, there is some traffic issues that we're working on here in this part of town. But as you can see, it's just beautiful. A lot of the nature is preserved, super green grass here, even in a month like August, where it is more of a drier month. And that outdoor patio, I promise you, will get good use. Even if you're not out here much in July and August, the rest of the year in Texas, you can enjoy that patio. Just another look at the living room. Here we have a half bath on our way to the primary. And this is a beautiful primary suite. I love that they have the angled windows. The wall, I wouldn't really call it a bay window per se, but how they do that design so you can have a little sitting area. But anyway, as I was saying, Mavera, it's a super nice community. I have people ask about it all the time. It's really close to the Woodlands and the medical centers here in the Woodlands. They're projected to get to about 2,000 homes at full build out. And right now, it's not just Pulte and their sister company Centex, but they also have Beazer and Meritage, which are all great builders. You really can't go wrong with any of them. And then the primary bath has the dual vanities. This is a raised vanity, so it's not the 30-inch height. It's, I want to say it's 36, but a little bit higher, so you don't have to, you know, bend down as much, especially for taller folks. The water closet, very common in Texas. We have our toilet in a little closet. Don't ask, it's just a common thing. Super sized walk-in closet. They were very generous here. There is no bathtub, and now that's a feature you can add on. Pulte is a semi-custom builder, but in the model here, they did the oversized shower. So beautiful tile shower, really high ceilings in here too. I don't know if the video does it justice, but not just that, it's also super light and bright and just an amazing space. I really like what they did with this. And so this AMHERST plan can actually be built with 4 or 5 bedrooms and anywhere from 2.5 to 4.5 bathrooms. It runs just over 2,700 square feet, and the base plan starts at $375,000. I have seen these up into the 4s. Of course, you can add as much or as little as you want, but that's a really, really good starting price. Now this bedroom here right off the front, I've seen some people use this as an office. I like to kind of sit in the office and be able to see out the door, you know, get my Amazon packages and whatnot. But this is also a good idea to use as a guest suite because it has its own ensuite bath. There's a closet in here and it's a full bathroom. So, you know, your guests can be kind of off on their own, have privacy and, you know, store a few things. It's not a walk-in closet, but that's really all a guest would need. Full shower, really nice size shower, and just a really nice space for someone to kind of have their own wing of the house separate from everything else. Pulte is actually building in 13 different communities around Houston. So there's a lot of variety. They start around 250 in some communities and go all the way up to the 600s. Depending on the area and of course the size of the home that you're building. Just look at the detail here. This shiny wood floor is just gorgeous. It's a deep like walnut color almost, and then the wrought iron spindles are black. This is another favorite space of mine in this house. This leather bench that goes all the way across kind of gives you an idea of just how long this room is. They have a foosball table up here, but I would probably put a pool table. Actually, in real life, this would be my kids' playroom. So what am I talking about? It wouldn't be a pool table, but it would be a really cool kid space. if you wanted it to be a man cave or a game room like they have pictured here. It's really versatile. Just another look at that view. It's just so green outside. What I like about this though is just how open it is. It's not a closed off loft space, but it's also not super open. And what I mean by that is when lofts are open to the downstairs, to the lower level, it feels like you're kind of on display, like it's not that private. But this one is partitioned off a bit, which I'll show you again in a second. But let's peek into the closets. You know, I need to know about the storage in the house. That's more of a standard closet, but these next two bedrooms I think have walk-ins. So rather than being stacked on top of each other, these bedrooms up here are all spread out. Now this is what I was saying. See how you can see the lower level, but it's not like you're right on top of it. So you could be like, hey, dinner's ready, call up the stairs. But also if the kids are playing up here or somebody's watching a game or something, it's not like interfering with what you're doing in the living room. This is actually a leathered granite. Trying to show you guys like the fixtures, the materials that they use in these homes are just top of the line. Even though this is a model, like even the standard base homes are still really nice quality and nice finishes. Check out this other bedroom. This is a huge room. I love the bay window. I could see my 2-year-old just putting all of her stuffed animals up there. Could be a really nice space for kids. Or like I was thinking maybe a teenager, somebody who wants their own bathroom. Again, this is an ensuite, so it's a full bath. This one is a tub shower combo. Could be a guest room too, but I think for upstairs, being that you have 2 en-suites in addition to the primary, usually people would say they'd want to put a guest room downstairs, but of course, whatever works for you. And that's a huge walk-in closet. This is definitely the largest of all of the spare bedrooms. Really high ceilings up here again too. The house feels really roomy. It's not really cramped in any of the spaces I've seen so far. So heading back down this hallway is the last bedroom. I love the fans, the fixtures they chose, and the higher baseboards. Just some of those details you don't really think about, but they add a lot when the product is finished. This walk-in closet is the biggest of all the spare bedrooms, and it has a window. Nice and light and bright. Pulte is a builder that's been building for over 70 years, and it's one of the largest builders in the country. So it's really a great product, like I said. I did tour another plan that's similar to this one, so make sure you watch that video next right here. I'll see you there. Thanks for watching.